For this fly I'm using an Airex curved dry fly barbless hook. For the silk I'm using a black 8/0 uni thread. For the body I'm using 2 strands of peacock herl. For the rib I'm using a red uni mylar tinsel. And for the hackle I'm using a feather taken from a cock pheasant. Now to dress the fly, come in with your thread and catch it in with 4 or 5 nice tight turns. Trim off the waist end. And now we can prep our peacock herls by simply trimming off the brittle ends, and we'll leave them for mounting in later on. Now come in with your tinsel and mount it onto the hook with nice tight touching turns. Now bring your pre-prepared peacock herls and again catch them in with 4 or 5 nice tight turns. And now bring the thread down the hook shank to a point just where the barb of the hook would be. Now bring your tying thread back at the hook shank to where the tying in point of the hackle will be. Take your 2 peacock herls in your fingers and now start to form a nice compact body. Try not to twist the herls, just keep them in a nice even plane, and between each turn just stroke back those peacock herl fibres. And you can see it's starting to produce a nice bushy little fly body. Just keep stroking those fibres back. Now once you get to a point where your fly tying thread is waiting for you, just trap those herls down with nice firm tight turns of thread. Trim off the waist end. And now rib your fly with nice segmented equal turns. Like so. Bind it down with your tying thread. And then come in with your scissors and trim that waist end. Now taking the pheasant neck feather, simply brush those fibres back to expose a nice tip. Something like that. Now take your scissors, just trim that tip down to a more manageable length and mount the hackle onto the hook with 3 or 4 nice tight turns of thread. Now take your hackle pliers, simply brush those hackle fibres back a little bit and start to wrap the hackle. If there's any fibres in the way, you can just stroke them back between each turn. I'm going to take an extra turn, which gives it 3 turns of hackle. And now come in with your tying thread and trap that stalk down. I like to take 2 on top and another one in front. Trim off the hackle stalk, and now come in with your whip finish and form a nice small whip finish. Tighten your thread, there we go. Come in with your scissors, cut the thread, ping the hook with your fingernail, and there you have the Ling Gill spider.